There has been a lot of outrage from fans after Nintendo's E3 this year. Even stakeholders were disappointed as stakes in Nintendo have dropped. A question that has popped up is, should Nintendo alter their approach towards how they do E3? Reggie Fils-Aimé had a quote at this year's E3 that outlined their approach. When we approach an event like E3, we show content that will launch over the next 6 to 9 months and no more. This has been their philosophy for most of their recent E3s. Very rarely have they announced games that will take years to develop. Like Xenoblade X, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Zelda Breath of the Wild are a few anomalies. So due to this philosophy, they did not have a jam-packed show that people expected, which disappointed the fans. In fact, they rarely had any new announcements or surprise games. With Nintendo's philosophy, I feel this will make their future E3s really lacking those surprise announcements that were prevalent in the early 2000s. However, this only applies to having surprises at E3. They will have surprise announcements throughout the year in other directs. So this is where, as fans, we need to temper our expectation for future E3 showings. But the argument can be had, is this the wrong call? Should Nintendo be putting all their eggs in the basket at E3? Well, let's look at Nintendo's competitors, Microsoft and Sony, who have the opposite mindset of Nintendo. They will announce games that are early in development and show CGI trailers instead of gameplay, likely because the game is early in development and they don't have enough footage of gameplay to show. But this means you repeatedly see the same games over numerous E3s. Sony was a big culprit of this. Spider-Man, Death Stranding, and Crackdown are examples of this. The reason they show these games is to alert console owners that big titles are coming and your investment in the system is worth it. What saves Sony and Microsoft are the third-party games. They come up with games that come in the near future that pad the schedule for Sony and Microsoft's big titles. Nintendo does not have the option for the most part, to which their 6 to 9 month vision really hurts them, as they only talk about games coming in the near future, not having many surprise announcements and expanding on games you already know about. I can see why people would be upset with that E3 strategy, but I personally think it's a good strategy. Nintendo does not need to build their hype of their products solely around E3. They have many opportunities to do that. People can say 2018 was lackluster in terms of announcements, but there are still more opportunities for great new game announcements. What hurts Nintendo is not having those third-party studios padding the game lineup for E3. But we saw last year, LA Noire, Doom were announced in the fall and released a few months later. We are definitely getting more third-party announcements for the 2018 holidays. Would it have been nice to have it at E3? Yes. But at the end of the day, how many people are selling their Switches because of this E3 showing? The point that I'm trying to get across is that Nintendo does not need to save announcements for E3 only. Their stocks dropped, yes, and there are opportunities for it to rise in the coming months when they have announcements to make, because we know more games are coming. Heck, Nintendo not following the 6 to 9 month philosophy is what hurt their E3 showing, because we expected Yoshi, Metroid Prime 4, and Bayonetta 3 footage because we had an expectation that these games would be in 2018 or early 2019. If Nintendo stuck to their 6 to 9 month philosophy, would we have been as disappointed? We would not have expected to see these games because under these circumstances, they wouldn't have been announced in the first place. I think going into E3, seeing game announcements that will release in the near future is more preferable from a fan perspective. We still have surprises like Mario Party and Daemon X Machina. We have things to look forward to for the rest of the year. Do fans of Sony and Microsoft? Their hype ends at E3 pretty much until the Game Awards. This is more so for the North American fans as Japanese developers still announce games throughout third quarter. Is there a wrong or right answer? It's tough to say unless you base it on the principle of sales. The way I see it is, it's based on preference, and I prefer seeing games that I can be excited for in the near future. I like what Sony showed, but I don't know when The Last of Us 2 or The Ghost of Tsushima are even releasing. How can I really get excited about that? So let me know what you prefer from a Nintendo show at E3. Games coming in the near future or announcements of games that won't release for a long period of time. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you for watching.